Hello everyone, welcome back to another, review of a show. The show I'm going to be reviewing today is The Midnight Gospel. Now, this show is a cartoon, adult animated series on the Netflix, created by Pendleton Ward and Duncan Trussell. Now, I know you may recognize that name, Pendleton Ward. He is the creator of Adventure Time. You should recognize him if you've been living under a rock. But yeah, this is his new cartoon. Came out 2 years ago, 2020 probably. And yeah, so this show he also partnered with another person called Duncan Trussell. Duncan Trussell is you shouldn't really kind of recognize him. He's if I were to describe Duncan Trussell, it would be an underground Joe Rogan. He talks with Joe Rogan a lot. He's kind of like Joe Rogan in content wise in his podcast, and he just speaks a lot like Joe Rogan, thoughts, stuff that doesn't religion, stuff like that. Now, mentioning his content, we're getting into the concept of the show. Now, Duncan Trussell is the main reason why the show kind of happens, because the concept of the show is Clancy, this guy named Clancy Gilroy. He uses this thing called a simulator. What a simulator is usually for is to harvest materials. Possibly, it's been a long time since I watched it. It's materials for planets, but he uses it. But Clancy uses his simulator to go around dead planets and interview people for his Spacecast, or a podcast technically. And parts of these podcasts are Duncan Trussell's own podcast, the audios from his podcast, all his guests and all the people Clancy are speaking to are real people, and they're real guests on Duncan Trussell's own podcast, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. And so that's basically the premise. And the thing is, this basically creates a whole new genre for cartoons, technically. It's so original and so unique. It's just really unique, and it's just I can't name any other show that is like this at all. With its originality, premise, and the art style. Oh my god, the art style. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, but but I thought you said this was created by Pendleton Ward. Well, yeah, it is. Half of it is the podcast, which I just mentioned with Duncan Trussell, and Pendleton Ward does the visuals, and the visuals are really trippy and nice. They are all the colors and all the textures, and the palette is so trippy and cool. Even everything to the soundtrack, which fits really well with the animation. What was the song? The song trailer, the song that was played during the original trailer of the show, that was really cool. Also, the Dreams Wash Away at the end of season 1, is also really fitting for the animation. But I want to go back when I'm older. I want to go back to the show and watch it high, because that's how trippy it is. It's really trippy. Now, the third thing I also want to talk about this show is, again, I'm bringing it back to the podcast part. Now, but as I said, Duncan Trussell's a Joe Rogan type guy. He talks about things that really in depth, religion, death, drugs, stuff like that, And most episodes are really deep, and it really gets you thinking in a way. It really gets you thinking about whatever he's talking about. As I said, they talk about death in one episode, and it's really not, and I know it's not for everyone. As if you say, it's not really a fun, if you want to enjoy, it's not really it's like the Requiem for a Dream. You don't watch that movie to be like to enjoy. You watch it to and then you watch it to feel depressed. And this is not like an episodic show, family friendly, oh happy go lucky. This show tackles serious issues, like very deep stuff that will get you really thinking. And that really slides into the last episode, I think episode 9. Because episode 9 really kind of broke me. Because it talked about, I'm just gonna spoil it right here if you guys don't mind spoiling. If you do, just like skip this part. But last episode, we see Clancy's mom. And he had him on the podcast, and she's gonna die of cancer. And through personal issues, this thing really kind of broke me in a way. Then I'm just spending time with each other and just talking about death and, you know, just to cry and move on with it. It's really, really fitting, and that's what I kind of like about it. And it all ends in a very great way, since this is the final episode of like the entire show, even though like season 2 got canceled. And the way that like it ends, because I'm gonna dial it back for a second, because after that episode there's some continuity. Basically the continuity is in the third episode, Clancy gets this other guy his ice cream on the internet probably, and then his dad wants to hunt him down because I think he's ruining his son. I know, it's just really weird. And then in that episode that broke me, the continuity really flushes in, like, and then I'm not going to spoil exactly what happens, but the ending to season 1 is so weird. It is so weird. Like, even though season 2 got canceled, it still leaves you satisfied. Like, you will still be satisfied no matter, like, what happened. But there's no, like, inconsistent plot threads. There's no like hooks left. There's no like strings to untie. It's all satisfied. And even when I first watched it, it was up in the air if there was going to be was the season 2, because everything was like tied together. I would argue that the only thing that wasn't tied together is that how Clancy solves problems. Like he just like moves away from them. But other than that, like, then yeah, it just leaves very satisfying a lot. Alright, so that was my review. I'm gonna give this show is like a must watch. It's an 8 out of 10, or 8 to 8.5 out of 10 technically. It's a must watch. If you like Adventure Time, you should watch this. It's really cool. Yeah, I guess that's it. See you guys.